No.
Sorry about that. Okay, we're going to be beginning in about 2 minutes if everyone will take or find a place to stand. Welcome to our Veterans Day recognition event, hosted in collaboration by the City of Palo Alto, Stanford University, and the Palo Alto American Mission Post 375. My name is Hayden Sheldon. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran and a current Stanford student, and I will be serving as your MC today. Today, I am thrilled to be joining the community in recognizing the service and contributions of our veterans of the United States Armed Forces. Our event today is one of many occurring across the Bay Area, the state, and the country. We are part of the fabric of the nation, gathering as a community to celebrate the service of our military veterans. We have a great program for you today. To begin, please stand for the presentation of the colors, and please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem performed by the Gunn High School Choir. Today's color guard includes 2 scouts, Leo Singh Lee from Palo Alto Troop 14 and Elizabeth Sodermana from Palo Alto Troop 4014. Color guard, post. toast the colors. Thank you to the Gunn High School Choir. I'm excited to introduce Mr. David Renfro, who will provide welcome remarks for our ceremony. Today, he is a U.S. Navy veteran currently serving as Deputy Nurse Executive and Deputy Associate Director of Patient Care Services.
Well, great job, Gunn High School. That was absolutely beautiful. I think we all wish we could aspire to have voices like that for sure. I can tell you I don't rank that. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's ceremony here at the VA Palo Alto Healthcare System. Before I move forward with my formal remarks, I just want to let you know it's been great just even sitting in the audience here. I think that those of you who know veterans know that we are more interested in hearing your stories than even sharing our own. And I got to hear that Shane served until 2007, I believe. But it's a common thing for us to first ask, what service were you in and where do you serve? That is our way of connecting with each other, listening to each other, and becoming one. And here today, that's exactly what we're doing. So before I begin, let me acknowledge the planning committee who put this beautiful event together, from the city of Palo Alto, Stanford University, the American Legion Post 375, Military Officers Association of America, the VA, and so many others. Thank you very, very much. As I mentioned, my name is Dave Renfro, a U.S. Navy veteran. I literally stepped off the USS Shasta in 1989 and walked straight to the VA facility here. It was a different building then, but I have worked here ever since. And if you get care here, you'll understand why. So most importantly, I want to acknowledge all of my fellow veterans in attendance today. Thank you for your service and thank you for being with us here today. This day is all about you, what you have done for our nation, and how well you have done it. So welcome, and welcome to your families and friends as well. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I will say, you could not be in a better place to celebrate Veterans Day. At the VA in Palo Alto, not only do we pride ourselves in providing the best care for veterans, but we have been doing so for nearly 100 years. For those that you don't know, we recently ranked yet again #1 in patient satisfaction for inpatient across the country of 1A complex facilities. While this campus opened in 1960, we recently celebrated the centennial anniversary of our Menlo Park campus, which opened in 1923. That is 100 years of serving those who have served. Our nation's veterans, men and women, who have worn our country's uniforms, fought and served to make our freedoms and way of life possible. And for that, we have an obligation to them. We have a special mission at the VA. It is our job, our responsibility to serve veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, as well as they've served our country. Not just on Veterans Day, but every day. Yet today, Veterans Day is something more. It is a call to action for each of us to serve our veterans throughout the year. It's a great opportunity for all of us to solemnly renew our commitment to those who have served. In countless ceremonies like this across the country, Americans are honoring our veterans, patriots, who since the War of our independence have stood watch over and defended our liberty. It is my honor to be here with you today, celebrating with you. Thank you all for being here, and I wish you a healthy and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, Mr. Renfro. And now I'm honored to introduce to you the Mayor of Palo Alto, Lydia Cooper.
Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Sheldon, and thank you for your participation today. Colonel Burnett, President Soller, fellow City Council members. I see former Mayor Karen Holman. I also see, I get signal that you're not hearing me. I'm so sorry. Yes, is this any better? Maybe. Oh, it's because it wasn't on. Thank you, sir. So I will start again and just say hello to Colonel Burnett, President Soller, my fellow City Council members. City Council member Vicki Banker is here. I see also our former mayor, Karen Holman, is here. And if I don't call your name, I apologize, but I know my fellow council members are here in spirit. We have Commander Powell, honored guests and friends. We're delighted to be here at the VA Palo Alto. Thank you, Mr. Renfro, for being our host today, and thank you for your military service. I would like to give a special welcome to Mr. Charles Scott and his family members, daughters Judy and Donna, and son Charles Jr. Charles Sr. served in World War II as a U.S. Navy communications specialist who has a special story of service. He's a member of the American Legion, Palo Alto Post 375, and a resident of Palo Alto. Will you please wave your flag so we know who you are? Thank you. Thank you. Today, on behalf of our congressional representative, Anna Eshu, we are joined by Mr. Nicholas Hargis, and he has brought with him a letter and certificate issued by Congresswoman Eshu, and it's displayed at the reception table. Will you please say hello to the audience here today? The color guards look great today. I want to thank you, Elizabeth from Palo Alto Troop 4014, and Neil from Palo Alto Troop 14, for your participation here today and your service as scouts in our community. It is wonderful to have members of the Gunn High School Chorus here as well, directed by Mr. William Latour. I hope I said that right. You all sound wonderful, and your voices added so much to our event. Thank you all for being here this afternoon to recognize our veteran community and to commemorate their service to our great nation. As we stand here today in the heart of Silicon Valley, a place known for innovation and progress, it is essential to recognize that the freedoms we enjoy are due to the dedication, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment of our veterans. Through times of peace and times of war, they've served to protect our freedoms and our way of life. Even though there are multiple conflicts among various nations in the world, which causes us to experience stress, pain, and concern, there is comfort we as Americans can rely on, and that is that throughout our history as a nation, brave, dedicated men and women have always answered the call to protect our freedom, democratic beliefs, and values with unrelenting devotion to duty and courage. It is to these veterans we owe our very existence and deepest gratitude. It is our honor today as a community to pay tribute to our veterans. Let us remember the important roles they played and that they continue to play in the life of our country. Within the city of Palo Alto, we have a number of veterans who serve in various roles within our staff. Police, fire, Office of Emergency Services, Public Works, Utilities, Human Resources, Administrative Services, Planning and Development Services. These individuals continue to serve by providing essential services to keep our city running safely and effectively. I'm proud of these men and women and thank them for how they continue to serve us. And across our community, we have many veterans who call Palo Alto home. According to the latest census data, there are over 1,300 veterans living in this city. We owe a great debt to the veterans across our great country, whose service to the nation spans every decade, every year, every day of our country's existence. In the spirit of Veterans Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to supporting our veterans, not only with words, but with actions. Let us pledge to ensure that every veteran has access to the care, resources, and opportunities they deserve upon their return home. Let us create a community that stands united in recognizing the value of our veterans and the profound impact they have on our society. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all veterans for their service. And I would be remiss if I did not include their families for sharing and supporting their family members' service to and for the country. May we never forget the sacrifices made for the freedoms we cherish, and may we always stand together to honor and support our veterans. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pugh. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Stanford President, Dr. Richard Sally.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Hayden. I want to start just by wishing you all a good morning. It's a real privilege to join Mayor Koo, the Veteran Affairs Deputy Director Hilbert, city leaders, university colleagues, and all of you to honor and recognize our veterans for their service. I want to call out Ray Powell for the invitation to this special event. Ray and I got to know one another during his time in the Distinguished Careers Institute at Stanford. I echo Mayor Koo in recognizing Charles Scott. It's wonderful to have your recognition of your service. On behalf of Stanford, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all of our veterans, including all of you who are present today and those who are not present. I understand that you have sacrificed for our peace and freedom. I'm especially honored to recognize members of our Stanford community, which includes military veterans, active service members, members of the National Guard and reservists, children, spouses, and parents of veterans and service members, and ROTC cadets. Stanford, I think, is coming closer and partnering more with the arms of the military service than they have for decades. Our veterans provide a wonderful example of citizenship and service, and particularly important in challenging times. In a time when trust in institutions is in decline across the country, our military is rightly recognized as the most trusted institution. And I acknowledge that universities like Stanford wouldn't have the privilege to exist in the kind of freedom that we have without your protection. As a brief side note, I have a very personal reason to thank the military. I'm here today because of the fine medical care of the Army. I didn't serve, but I was born at Fort Bragg when my father was drafted to serve during the Korean War. And I'm told that I wouldn't have survived birth had it not been for the fine care of Army doctors. So I'm particularly glad to be able to thank the medical services of the Army and the military. Of course, today, the Veterans Administration Palo Alto healthcare system is an important partner to Stanford Medicine. We work together daily. And I want to recognize finally Stanford's Office of Military Affiliated Communities, or OMAC, and the manager, Shane Hale. OMAC does important work to build the community among veterans, and we're pleased to be able to work with them to organize this event. So let me close with a salute to our veterans and a thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Now, let us enjoy another musical performance by the Gunn High School Choir.
Thank you so much. Am I on? Did I do it right? I'm so loud you probably don't care. The piece we brought today is called Stomp. It's by a woman named Andrea Ramsey. And it has no words, it's all sounds. And she uses stomp as a symbol of hate and injustice in the world. She structures the piece in 3 sections. In the first section, these are her words: an impassioned wail or cry for humanity. In part 2, begins a weary struggle against human injustice. And in the ending, part 3, it's meant to represent the beautiful diversity of humanity and the strength present when that diversity comes together in unity. This is Stomp on the Fire.
Oh
thank you to the Gunn High School Choir. That was fantastic. Our keynote speaker today is U.S. Army Colonel retired Patty Burnett. If you please hold your applause. Colonel Burnett began her early career as a United States Public Health Service nurse officer and later decided to serve her country in the United States Army, where she spent 28 years of active and reserve duty, mostly here in Northern California. For her assignments, her assignments included posts as staff nurse at Letterman Army Medical Center in San Francisco during the Vietnam War, staff medical advisor at the Presidio of San Francisco, medical liaison for Civil Affairs Command in Sunnyvale, medical readiness officer in the 2nd Medical Brigade, and staff nurse at the VA Medical Center in Martinez. Following her retirement from the Army, Colonel Burnett became active in the leadership of California Military Officers Association of America, or CalMOA. Most recently, as its president, while concurrently serving as president of her local Contra Costa chapter, she uses her platform to support and advocate for the needs of our military veterans at the local, state, and national levels. She embodies the MOA motto, never stop serving. Colonel Burnett's other veteran service organization volunteer roles include the Reserve Officers Association, Vietnam Veterans of San Ramon Valley, Military Orders of the World War, Association of the U.S. Army, and trustee of the San Ramon Valley Veterans Memorial Building. Without further ado, Colonel Burnett.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, so I also had the pleasure of being born in a military hospital in San Antonio, Texas. That's where I was born. And so my dad started out in World War II as an Army Air Corps pilot, stayed in and helped stand up the Air Force, and then went on to be in Korea. And so that was kind of my history that I knew about, but guys didn't talk about stuff like we do now. And this facility, the VA facility out here, has particularly worked on post-traumatic stress disorder, which I've been following. And a lot of the members of PRO and other veterans I know, I've had to deal with that, and I have to say, probably Stanford's been in this to really support them. So it's a road I didn't think I was going to take. I didn't know I was going into nursing. I got a scholarship to go to Sacramento State College, and they said it has to be in science. Well, I'm 77, so they didn't offer you anything. I mean, I love chemistry. I love science. But they said, oh, go be a nurse. So I said, okay. And, it wasn't a bad deal. I loved it. I had the German side of me, which is exacting, and that's what you want in a nurse. And the Latino side, which was like, let's have fun, let's, smile a little. So it was a nice combination. My brother went to Vietnam Air Force. My husband went to Vietnam Air Force. Again, it's a thing I didn't know I was going to do, but I'm proud of that. And my big goal here today is to say, I want to say thank you to you. That is the people who need. And it involves children, it involves family. I was a brat before I got in, so I saw both sides of it. Now there's support for wives and families, and there was, my mother had none of that in World War II, Korea as such, and also just camaraderie that comes. I mean, the biggest thing for me is there's a camaraderie. Any of your vets or any of your wives or vets, you can just go up and say, oh, I was an Army nurse. And they go, oh, okay. And you could chat forever, or if you're a nurse and you're a part of that family. And that's, that's really important. That's the glue. And obviously I like to talk. So, it fits right into things that are going on. Now, I have to give a plug for Military Officers Association. We're a group of about 350,000 people across the United States. We have quite a few in California, and about 1,800 belong to chapters. And I know Ray really well because Mr. Watts, excuse me, and the fellow over here, Ray, I'll invite him because I come down to visit that chapter. I get to do this kind of stuff as the council president. I go out and see how people are doing. You know, I have some lunch with them, they treat me nicely, and, you know, that's part of it. I get to meet more veterans, you know, more people that have been involved. And when I was serving, I came in through Vietnam and got out after Iraq. We were already in Iraq. So I come across as people through this medical readiness command I was in. And these young soldiers, mainly male, would come by and say, I'd go over there at immunization work and say, you know, ma'am, I just drove a truck. Or ma'am, I just worked in the mess hall. I said, no. I said, us nurses, we love food. We love clean clothes. You know, and we want that for our patients. There's no just clean toilets. You were doing what you were asked to do. And that's very, very important. So some of my friends say, Patty, you'll try anything. I said, oh yeah, I've had to do that in my life. You know, the Army says, go here, do that. You know, I would love to go overseas. I did go to Thailand for a while to serve. But, you know, you're asked to do what you're asked to do. And you know that someone's behind you if you fall over. And they know that I'm behind that. So that's the beauty of it. And, you know, there's been problems with the military, you know, over the years, like many other associations or groups or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it's you know, we've weathered that. You know, you look at the time from George Washington to now, you know, we've been making it. So I think we have to take, you know, pride in that. And also, you know, kindness to everybody. You know, it's number one. I knew that as a nurse. I didn't get to pick who was laying in bed. You know, there they were. I was there to help them however I could. Mentally, physically, spiritually. And that's why someone said, why don't you? You know, I got my PhD in health administration. Someone said, why don't you be a doctor? I said, no, I love nursing. You know, not that doctors are bad or the whole group that works with you. They're not. They have their alley. But nurses have this particular alley. And that's the alley I love. And now, just one more comment. Do I have time for that? So, you know, when I worked in the U.S. Public Health Service, I was out in the Tuolumne of Sacramento County. Because Public Health Service serves the underserved. They are one of our uniformed services, just like Army, just like Navy, just like, they don't carry guns. Hopefully not, but there's Public Health Service. It's carrying guns, they're in trouble. But, you know, I was out there assigned, and I went out to visit. I got a referral from a physician and said, I need you to go out and visit this fellow. He's what's called a brittle diabetic. He was up and down, blood sugar. And he says he's a nice man. He says he's taking his meds, he's doing his blood sticks, but he's just all over the board. So I think you should go out there and look at him. So I went out to him, I called ahead, I said I'm coming out, and it took me about an hour just to get way out from Sacramento area to get out there. And he was there, delightful, and I said, well, why don't you show me how you do your blood sticks? You know, why don't you show me how you give a shot? And he said, well, I'd have to give one right now, injection, excuse me. So he goes, he said, well, I put it in a place I won't forget, the insulin, and he had it in a sunny window, sitting on the sill. And so, I mean, this is way back, this is 40 years ago. And I said, sir, you have to put that in your refrigerator. That's why the first couple of doses he would take would be okay. And then it would just go crazy. And so I said, I'm going to call the physician, and they'll get you the medication you need. Definitely.
Okay, so at this time, Colonel Wardett will be presenting Charles Scott, who served as a radio man in the on the USS Shad submarine and on the USS Bushnell submarine tender during World War II. Charles served 21 years between the Navy and Coast Guard, and we are thrilled to welcome him today. And we'll be presenting him with a quilt.
They didn't tell us how to hold. Okay. We have a little logistics here. This is a presentation for the Blue Star Moms who made this quilt, just for you. And there's usually their name or tag in there. Which one? It's post 735. So I'm familiar with Blue Star Moms. My mom didn't have that, but they're a big part of our veteran group at our Gandil Veteran Hall. And we have a museum there. And if you're ever down that way, we would love to see you. And we have Navy nurses under treatment, don't you? Yeah, Bear Island. So I don't think you stand too much water. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. You look wonderful. Did you get a good picture of him? Is this your family here?
Yes.
Wonderful. Congratulations. No pressure.
Well, hello, this is an honor that I never expected, and it's a wonderful one. I started my life out as a young Indian boy roaming the hills of Oklahoma as a youth, and ultimately I ended up at the vocational school in Kansas, where we had to work a half a day in order to go to school a half a day. And I never saw the inside of an academic school after the 10th grade. It was a vocational school. And I became an electrician and never worked as an electrician until I got drafted into the Army at the age of 18 and went to Fort Leavenworth. And after a couple of weeks at Leavenworth, I got selected by the Navy captain to join the Navy and spent time at Farragut, Idaho as a recruit. Then I went to radio school. While there, I decided I wanted to go to the submarine service. And the requirement was too strict for me to join this. So I had to get a couple of waivers. I was too tall and too skinny. To be accepted to the submarine school. But I asked the lieutenant to sign the waivers for me to try to get in. And they came back both approved. So I ended up at the radio school, at the submarine school for a year. And finally I graduated and went to Maryland and joined the fleet at Pearl Harbor submarine, and I got the Shad, and I spent one patrol aboard the Shad during the Pacific War, and got my combat ribbon at Marcus Island in the Pacific, and ended up going back to discharge, and after a few months I joined the Navy again, and was assigned to the reserve training ship submarine named Parchi in Alameda, California. And after a couple of years there, I joined the Coast Guard and spent my time in Kodiak and Ketchikan, Alaska, and in Long Beach, California. When I retired from the Coast Guard, I decided I was going to go to civil service, and I applied for a job. And at the submarine missile program at Lockheed, and it was a special projects office where they were building the nuclear missile program for the big boats, the submarine. And I worked there for 21 years, and finally I retired after 21 years in the civil service, working in the special projects office. And then I got out and worked as a hardware store clerk for a few years before the store closed and I got laid off. Since then I've been busy with the neighborhood, city, working to get a city park established, and for our youngsters in our part of the city, because we did not have anything to show that we had a park. And it took me 40 years to, my wife and I, 40 years to get the park finished in Palo Alto. But we did. Flag for our 40 years of stubbornness. And here I am, just as honored as you can't imagine how honored I am for my life.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Charles. And thank you, Patty, for presenting him with the Quilt of Valor. Now, it is a pleasure to introduce Commander Raymond Powell, who will issue a proclamation on behalf of Palo Alto American Legion, Post 375, and he will be followed by Palo Alto Veterans Affairs Chaplain, Michael Chester, U.S. Navy veteran, who will provide a benediction.
I'm just going to call a quick audible and ask my friend Colonel Ray Watts to come up and talk just a second about the significance of the quilt and the wrapping. Ray, would you just go?
You did very quickly. It's kind of odd in the Colonel saying you did very quickly, but thank you all for coming.
Mike.
Sorry, thank you all for coming. If you notice when myself and Patty walked up, we took the quilt and embraced the service member. That is very symbolic. So Charles, on those cold nights, or those times where you think you might need a hug, you got one. So that is very important. So, Charles, thank you. Job well done. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America.
My name is also Ray. I am a veteran of 35 years in the United States Air Force. And I think I have something in common with almost everybody here. Besides being a veteran, I am the commander of Post 375 Palo Alto, Mayor. I, of course, was in the Distinguished Careers Institute at Stanford University, where Richard did not mention that President Soller did not mention that he was the director of the Distinguished Careers Institute for a period of time. I am a member of the Military Officers Association of America, Colonel Watts. I'm also, of course, associated with these fine gentlemen back here from Post 375. I get all of my medical care right here, not in room 101, not in building 101 usually, but right here. I did not go to Gunn High School, I'm sorry. But everyone else, I think. So today for me, this is about community. Veterans in community. And part of the reason this is so special for me is that, of course, there are lots of statistics that say that our young people are not signing up for the military in the numbers they used to. And it may be that we're starting to lose a little bit of the sense of veterans in community. Of course, we no longer have a draft, so not as many people serve. They don't know as many veterans. And here in Northern California, we closed all the military bases, so they don't retire here. And for those of us who are retired here, we know that California takes all your retirement money. But we thought it appropriate from Post 375 to put together a resolution for today because we were so moved by all of our friends here. Charles, I'm sorry you got me. Just killed me. Charles is a member of Post 375, and if you loved his stories, there are a lot more where that came from. Come out and visit us. Whereas the American Legion Post 375 Palo Alto, a local veterans organization dedicated to serving the needs of veterans, their families, and our local community, recognizes the significance of Veterans Day as a time to honor and express gratitude to all who have served in our armed forces. And whereas the service and sacrifice of our local veterans have been vital to protecting our nation's security and prosperity, and to preserving the free and democratic values upon which it was founded. Whereas military veterans comprise a uniquely patriotic, community-oriented, and service-minded population, both contributing generously to and drawing strength from their local community. By the way, my wife is going crazy back there because I don't have a hanky. And whereas the leaders of the people of the city of Palo Alto, Stanford University, the Palo Alto Veterans Administration Medical Center, and several local veterans and community organizations have come together to jointly honor and celebrate our veterans this Veterans Day. Therefore, let it be resolved. Are you giving me a hanky, Mayor? Thank you. I got a hanky from the Mayor. You got me, Charles. Therefore, be it resolved by post number 375 of the American Legion, Department of California, assembled in regular meeting on December 2nd, 2023 in Palo Alto, that we do hereby proclaim our profound respect, gratitude, and admiration for all veterans who have faithfully served our country. Be it further resolved that we commit to continued care and advocacy for the welfare of all veterans, ensuring their physical, mental, and emotional well-being, while encouraging them to find support, fellowship, and opportunities to serve in local veterans groups and other community service organizations. Be it further resolved that we encourage the members of our community to participate in Veterans Day activities, to express their appreciation through acts of kindness and public recognition, and by offering support to veterans and their families in times of need. Be it further resolved that we are honored to stand alongside these leaders and members of our community to celebrate, honor, and support the service rendered by our local military veterans this Veterans Day, November 11th, 2023. Resolved.
Let us pray. O Lord, most eternal, we thank you now for all the good, the beautiful, and the precious freedom brought forth by our veterans. As we conclude this honorable ceremony, please grant your grace upon all veterans of every war that chose to serve, defend, and protect. O Lord, we further give thanks for our fine educational and medical partnership with Stanford University, allowing for outstanding medical care of our distinguished veterans and citizens of Palo Alto. You, Lord, Lord of nations, it is now fitting that Veterans Day fall on your spiritual and scriptural day of rest and healing, as we humbly and collectively seek your divine blessing for all our diverse veterans and citizens of Palo Alto. Most High, bless now all our veterans, wherever they may be, wherever they may stand, wherever they may rest, wherever they may receive excellent healing. For it is the veteran, O Lord, who has and who continues to sacrifice the sacred duty of providing defensive world peace for America. In your most loving and hallowed name, whose spirit commands above all. Amen.
Thank you for joining us today and showing your support for our community's veterans. Special thanks to Mr. Renfro, Dr. Sadler, Colonel Warnett, Mayor Koo, Charles Scott and the Scott family, Gunn High School and our talented choir, Palo Alto VA, American Legion Post 375, the Silicon Valley chapter of the Military Officers Association of America, and the Stanford Office for Military Communities. If you would like to learn more about the Military Officers Association of America, you can see the table. I think, yes, please raise your hands at the table back there. We also have more information on the American Legion, Post 375 at their table back here.
We're waiting.
And then you have a table set up by the VA for veterans seeking resources to confirm their status in the VA system as well. We will conclude today's programming with the singing of the Armed Forces Medley. When the Armed Forces Medley is played, we ask that veterans and current service members alike would stand and sing their branches song. You may find the words on the back of your program.
Okay, so let me just give one quick additional instruction. I didn't realize we're going to have the Gunn choir here, so please do your best to sing along. You'll probably recognize most of the music that you hear, maybe not the first song. It's a little bit more obtuse. But we do want to encourage everyone to sing the song. The words are on the back of your program. Let's go slow.